Hello guys, welcome to another video. In this video we are going to learn how we can use Figma to recreate this website. The website you are seeing, the Google search screen. That's what we're trying to create. And for you to be able to follow and enjoy this tutorial, you need to understand the basics of auto layout properly. So if you don't know it yet, you have to go and find knowledge about it. You can go to YouTube, read about watch videos about auto layout, go to Figma YouTube channel, find videos about auto layout. You really need it because I'm going to be using auto layout a lot in this tutorial. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So when you open your Figma page, when you log into your Figma account, the first thing that you're going to find uh, is this screen. You're going to see this screen. So I want you to pay attention to this side where you see the design file and fit Jamboard. So pay attention to this. Where what we are trying to create is a design file, right? So when you click on this, you can easily create a new design file. And if when you click on that button, you see a drop down for draft, just click on draft. Yes. So once you land on this page, then we can start designing. So we can rename this page to Google search page. So the first thing first is to get the screen that we want to use. So we're going to use the frame tool. Then we'll come right here. We'll open desktop. I'm going to pick MacBook Pro 14, but you can use anyone actually. So let me just go with this because this is the frame I like to use the most. So so I'm going to be checking the design while we recreate it on Figma here. So before we proceed, the first thing you want to do is to preview this page. So let us preview this page. So we are just previewing it so that we have this page loaded already. So the first thing you are going to see when you preview the page is the mockup, and that is because I picked one of Figma's templates and they have a mockup for it. So what I'm going to do is I will switch to prototype. I will turn on the prototype settings and come to under device. You see MacBook Pro 14 inches. This is the name of the frame I'm using, but your own might be different if you're using a different frame and you encounter this kind of issue on your presentation screen just like this. So you come here, you scroll all the way to the top and select none. So we don't need it because I'm using a laptop to design, so I do not need it. So to hide this bar, I'll just come here, select unmark this, then the bar is hidden. So you can use your Z key to zoom in, zoom out, fit to screen, fit to actual size, whichever way you want it, right? So we come to the MacBook Pro screen. So the first thing we want to do is to design this, right? So just like I said, if you inspect this page, you find out that this website is designed based on boxes, right? So this is the basic the basic thing you need to keep at the back of your mind. You need to understand this fact that the website is built with blocks and containers, boxes and containers, basically. So you can see the box here, you can see this one, you can see boxes around. So this is the same idea that we're going to be using to recreate this. So so let us create the first box. So the first box we are going to create, we are not going to start with the box. We are going to start from the smallest bit of this website, especially this box. So the smallest bit of the box is the Gmail, is the text. So the text comes before the box that covers it, and the ones that covers the bigger boxes that comes around it. So that's where we're going to start. So we're going to use the text to create a text. So I'll click on T, then I'll click on my page just to show where I want to type my stuff. Then you see the cursor blinking, then I'm going to type Gmail. So Gmail, the font size is 12. If I zoom in, you can see the font size is 12. Then I'm going to increase the font size to 14. Yes, 14. So you can use between 14 and 16 pixels for your font size. So, but before we proceed, let us create our grid layout. So I will select the MacBook Pro 14 inches screen. Then I'm going to add layout grid. So I'll click on plus. Then you see this graph book view. Then I'll click here. I'll come back here and select columns, right? Then I'll switch these columns to 12 point column. So we can't use 5 because 12 is like the standard for websites. Then here we are going to make the margin 30, 30 or 20. Let's use 20. I think 20 is okay. No, let's use 30. Yeah, yeah, I prefer that. Close this. Then we can use the key combination Shift and G, Shift G together. So when you use Shift G, you are going to um, enable the layout grid and hide it at the same time. So you can press Shift G to view it, to show it. Then you can press Shift G again to hide it. So now having done that, let's continue. So I'm going to move this Gmail right to this position. Then the Gmail is placed somewhere around this place. So but we are not placing it there yet. We want to be able to get the second one, the second text. So we can actually create a text from scratch, or we make a duplicate of this. But before we make the duplicate, let us add an auto layout. So we're going to be adding two auto layouts actually. We're going to be adding two auto layouts on top of this, right? So um I'm going to add auto layout. Then I'm going to add another auto layout. So the issue here is that once I add an auto layout on this, I won't be able to add another auto layout using the right click. So I will have to select it and use Shift A to add another auto layout. So just for you to understand what is going on here, let me enable the stroke so that you can see what is going on. So you can see this is the text. This is the first auto layout. Let me change the color of this. Maybe I should change it to green. Yeah. So the first auto layout is the one with the green stroke, and the second auto layout is the one with the black stroke. So I'm going to leave this stroke on so that you understand as we move on. Then we'll remove it after. So I'm going to click on this and make a duplicate. This is what I'm going to duplicate. I'm not just going to duplicate the text because I want the text to have its own box. So I'm going to duplicate the box that is carrying the text, which is the auto layout, the green one. So I'm going to press Ctrl D, Ctrl D. I need it just once, so let me delete the second one. So you can use Ctrl D. Then the direction of the auto layout. So when you apply auto layout, the auto layout has its own settings. So under the settings, you can choose the direction of the auto layout. You can choose the gap between items inside the auto layout. You can choose the padding, the alignment. There are also some other settings here. You can choose the arrangement. Either you want it to be first item on top or last item on top, whichever way. So you can exclude strokes in the auto layout, but this is not important for this tutorial now. What we are most concerned about is the direction. So this direction is vertical. We want to switch it to horizontal, just like this. Then we will now change this text to images. Yeah. Now the green box has 10 pixel padding around it, and also this one. So we want to reduce it because it's too big. So we're going to click here, change it to 2, change this one to 2. The horizontal and vertical padding we want to change to 2 pixels each. So that's all we need. Then we now want to make a duplicate of this. So you can use Ctrl D to make the duplicate. So let us name our layers, right? It's always good to name your layers. So Gmail, let's call this one Gmail, maybe Gmail box. Then we can call this one, just double click, you'll be able to rename. You can call this one image box, right? Then we'll call this one, um, well, let's call it header links. Header links. So because these are header links, right? Or maybe nav links, navigation links. So you can call them header links, you can call them navigation links, whichever one works. So now we have created this first two. So we have created this box around it. So we need this second box. So but then you notice that even with the second box, we still have a box that's carrying both of them. So this is it's at this point that we are going to now look at our design. This is what we are designing. So that's why I told you to enable this page so that we will be seeing the design in real time. So we're going to add another auto layout. Right, so we're going to add it to this box. So I'm going to use Shift A again. So now the essence of the second auto layout is to have the bigger box that's going to carry the two auto layouts. So I'm going to create a duplicate of this using Ctrl D. As you can see, the direction is down again. We are going to switch it to the right. Then I can now place this at the top corner just by aligning it here and here. So we are now going to get, so here we need three things, right? We need three things. We need this conical flask, we need the grid icon, we also need this. So we just created this space for it. So we are going to replace the second Gmail and images with the icons. So we can make a third duplicate inside this place because we need three items inside this box. So we are going to look for a plugin called Iconify. Then we allow it to load. Then we look for we we look for a plugin called Conical, or let's just say Flask. So yeah, so this plugin is good enough, so we can select this, then make sure the height here is 24. Then we hold this and drag it and place it on the screen. Then we are also going to look for another icon called grid. Then we search. So we are going to check around for this grid, but I don't like any of the ones I'm seeing here. So let us move to the second page. Yes, I think this would work. Then I'll place it here. So you can also do the same, like select it here, make sure it's 24 by 24, then place it here. So both works. Sometimes this one just, the first method just is to give you a bigger size. So that's why I prefer to do it that way. So the standard icon size that you're supposed to be using is 24 by 24. So I am going to select this, copy it, then come right here and paste it. Control paste to replace. Paste to replace. Then I'm going to copy this also. Then I'll paste to replace the image. Right? Paste to replace. Then the third one, so we don't need these icons again. I'm just going to delete it. So the third icon here, that's where the avatar comes in, the user avatar. So they have B there, but yours might not be B because the spelling of our name starts with different letters. So to not cause any confusion around that, we are going to use a picture instead. So the image as a text, let's just so in my explanation of the auto layout, I still need to watch videos on the auto layout, but let me just quickly make an explanation. The auto layout adjusts to content inside the box. So when you create an auto layout around an object on Figma, it responds to the size of that object inside. So you can make the auto layout bigger or smaller just by increasing or reducing the length or the size of the content inside. Although you can manipulate the size manually, but automatically the way it was built is to respond to whatever you put. So if I reduce the length of this text, it will keep reducing. The auto layout will keep reducing based on the number of contents you put inside the box. So we want this box to be empty, right? So I am going to delete the text. So I'll select the text and delete it. So the auto layout looks like it's carrying a width, but that's because it's empty. The moment I put something inside, the moment I say, let me type a text, let's say D, and I carry it and I place it inside, it will automatically hug it. So let us delete the text now and adjust the width of the auto layout manually. So the height of this is 24 by 24, but the height of this one is 13 by the size of this is 13 by 21. So we are going to switch it to 24 by 24. Yes. So I'm going to switch the fill for the stroke for the fill. The stroke is green. So if I press Shift X, X as in Xander. So if I X as in, let me put it here, X. So Shift plus X, Shift plus X. It will switch the fill, the color on the stroke to the fill. If you press it again, it will switch it back to the stroke. So that's a trick of Figma. Then um I'm going to run the corners because I'm trying to convert this rectangle or this square box, this auto layout box, which is a square. I'm trying to convert it to a circle. So I'm just going to put my cursor right here and I'm going to drag to the right till I get a perfect circle. So once I get a perfect circle, I can leave it like that. Although if you notice on the design, the circle is a bit bigger than the text, than the icons. So we're going to make that happen by increasing this to 32 by 32. So I think that's good enough. So we select this bigger auto layout and place the alignment on the left we can align it on the middle, the left horizontal middle point. We can also put it at the center, right? So as long as it's just along this line, not top, not bottom, just along the middle, we're okay. So I think we should place it on the right because this frame is on the right side of the page. So with that being done, we can I think we can move forward. Um, so what we are going to do is to expand this. So I want to take a look at this again. So I can see that they have the same height. The boxes have the same height, but the boxes here do not have the same height. So what we can do is to reduce the vertical padding of this. We can reduce it like that to get the same height. So we can, inside this, we can also place it at the center, just like that. Then we are going to give it, remember when we're creating our layout grid, Shift G, when we're creating this layout grid, we gave it a 30 pixel margin. If you check, we had a 30 pixel margin. So we are going to apply the same thing to this. We are going to give it a 30 pixel margin, just like that. Then because this thing is supposed to be full width, just like they have it here, I mean this longer box is supposed to be full width. So the width of our page is 1512. So I'm going to increase it to 1512. Then it increased to the right, so but no need to panic, just align it to the left of the page and you get it back. So we can decide to replace this shape and fill it with an image. So I'm going to come here, instead of solid fill, we have other filling options like gradient, image and video. So I'm going to fill it with an image, just like this. Then I can also so because this image has no background, I can decide to give it a background, so I can add to the color inside of here. But you don't necessarily have to do this. I'm just doing my thing. This is not too important to you, so I'm just doing my thing. I can decide to change this color to the purple just for design and beautification sake. Yeah, just like that. So at this point we can get rid of the shapes, right? But before we get rid of the shape, let us make a duplicate of this for the footer. So we have this footer here, these two layers of footer. So I'm going to make a duplicate of this. So another way to make the duplicate, instead of using Control C, Control V, or copy and paste, or Control D to duplicate, another way you can make duplicates is by using your mouse. So if you are using a mouse and you're using an external mouse, it is going to be easier for you if you're using an external mouse. Or you can still do it even with your normal trackpad without an external mouse. So all you have to do is hold Alt on your keyboard, hold Alt key, the Alt key, then select the content, the object you are trying to or the item you are trying to make duplicate from. So when you hold Alt, you just select it and drag it out. Then you need to create a second version, a duplicate. So I'm going to bring this one to the bottom, just align it to the bottom. For now, let us leave it there. Then now let's get rid of of the um the strokes on the auto layout so that it won't look too weird. So I'm going to get rid of these strokes, and now we have our header, right? So the second thing we are going to do is to create the Google logo, right? So just like I said, you can actually, this is an image. From the way Google places it is an image. You can actually copy the image and paste it in your design just like this. Copy image and paste here. Just paste it in your design just like this. This could work, but I prefer to use the SVG version if I have access to it. So how we can get that SVG action to the SVG icon or logo is to look for a plugin called brand fetch. So this is the brand fetch. Just type brand fetch in the search bar if you can't find it immediately. So open the brand fetch, go through the onboarding. You just have to click some next, and maybe I'll do it later at the point. All you are trying to do is to get to this page where you see search and explore. So the Google icon is always part of the first things that you see there. So the Google logo is very popular. So it's a very popular brand, and you will easily find it there. So what we'll do is we'll open the Google, then we'll find their logo. So this is the logo that we need. We can also get other versions of logo or Google logo, but this is the main logo that we need. So we're going to drag it out, paste it on the screen. So just give it some seconds, it will load and drop. So we can close this after. So we are going to place this at the center of the page. Then we are going to switch to the scale tool. Then I'm going to increase from the bottom so that this thing stays in the middle. And I'm going to increase the size of the text of the logo just as much as I feel is good. I don't have any specific size I'm aiming to get. So I think all we have is too big. Let me reduce it a bit. Yes. Let me see. I think I can see reduce it a bit. Just a little bit. Okay, so I think we are good to go. So the Google icon is done. So the next one will be um, the text box here. So we have three icons here. So we're going to get the icons first. So we're going to open our Iconify again. I'm going to search for the search icon search. Yeah. So we're going to use this first one. I think the first one works. Or we can use this. We can use this. Any one of them works. So I'm just looking for the one that looks like what we're trying to copy here. Then I'm going to get another icon, and the mic icon, mic. So I'm going to search for mic. So I have so many options here too. I think I'll just go for the simplest one. I think I like this better. So I'm going to place it here. Then I'm going to search for the next one, which is the lens, the Google lens rather, Google lens. So yeah, so we can get it. So I'm going to use this. Let's see what we can do with it. Let's see what we can do with it. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to um to get the Google icon, I mean the Google logo. So this is having 48. We can just lock this constraint and change it to 24 because the size we need is 24. So we're going to come here. So just like I said, for you to be able to use this icon, you must be able to manipulate SVGs. So I'm going to do a little bit of manipulation on this SVG because the icon we're trying to copy has multiple colors. So if you check, we have blue, we have yellow, we have red, we have green, we have blue, red, yellow, red, and green. So we're going to fill this with blue first. So I'm going to fill this with blue. I will switch the stroke for the fill using Shift X, and I'll call it blue. I'll do the same for this circle, Shift X, then call it blue. Then I'm also going to do the same for this. So these two are together, right? So I'm going to enter into object selection mode. I'll zoom in. I'll switch the fill, right? So I'm going to check the color that we have here. We have red and yellow, right? So I'm going to come here first. I'm going to use the bucket to to remove the fill, then fill it back and come back here and change it to red, right? So here I'm going to remove the fill it back and change it to, what color do we have there? We have yellow, right? So I'm going to select the yellow, and here we have the green. We have the green here. Yes. So I think this one works. So done. Okay, then we can switch the fill and get the green. So this works. So the next thing is to use this. So we are going to separate this also. I'm going to go into the object selection mode. Done. No, object selection mode. I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this like this. I'm going to press Ctrl X to cut it, then done, then Ctrl V again. So I simply separated these two vectors. So now we have two here. If you check it before, we had one. So if I go back, you can see that we had just one here. So now I've separated it into two. So we can go with these two. Let me see if I can separate it further. I think the two is okay. Yes. So we can just go with these two for the mic. So we are going to give this place a separate color, blue. Then we're going to give this one the green color, green. Yeah. So blue and green, or maybe we do blue and red. I don't know which one works better, blue and red. Yeah. So this color for the search icon here, the color is not completely black. It's kind of like ash. So we're going to get this color from black. Just move it up on this straight line and get this color. Yes. So now we're going to get the Gmail. We're going to use the Gmail again. We're going to move this, just create a duplicate. I'm using the Alt to create duplicates now. So I'm going to copy this, copy, or copy like this. I'm going to paste to replace. Then I'm going to place these two beside each other. Select both of them, apply auto layout first. Then I'll copy the auto layout, then I'll replace, paste to replace, right? So I'm going to delete. So now what we have simply done is we have grouped these two together and we have left this one out, because on the design we have these two far apart and this one on one side lonely. So we're going to do that. We're going to achieve that by increasing the gap. So by grouping this, it will be easy for us to achieve it. So you can increase the gap just by hovering your cursor here and dragging to the right, or you can also come here to the center where you see the 10 in red, then we can expand it just like this. Exactly. So we're going to place it at at the center of the page. Then I'm going to keep expanding it just like this till I get something reasonable or that looks good enough for me. I think it's too much. Let's reduce it a bit. Yes. So we are going to add stroke to the box. So I'm going to add a stroke, black stroke. So remember the design we're trying to copy is having a rounded corner, right? So we're going to increase the rounded corner here too. Yeah. So we're going to increase the padding on the left and right. So I'm going to increase this to 20. Then I'm going to increase this to 16, I guess. Yes, I think 16 looks good. So remember the design we're trying to copy does not have a completely black border or stroke. So we're going to adjust this stroke to, we can even select the color for the search icon, but I think we need to go a little bit lighter than that. So I'm going to drag it up. Yes. So let us check how our design looks like. See, we are already coming up. We're coming up. The design is already coming to shape, so it's just looking good, already looking like what we have on Google. So the next thing we are going to do is to create those two buttons under the text, the Google search and I'm feeling lucky. So I'm still going to make use of this. I'm going to make a duplicate of this just by holding Alt. I forgot to hold Alt before, but then when I remembered, I pressed the Alt and it makes a duplicate. So I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to delete the image and leave the Gmail alone. Then I'm going to change the Gmail to what do they have there? Google search. Yes, so I'm going to change it to Google search. Then here we are going, we have the box, so we have to fill the box with a color. I fill it with white, but you won't see it because the background is white. So I'm going to give it that off-white color. It's just slightly off-white. Yes. So I think this is even too deep. Let's take it up a bit. Let's take it up a bit. Yeah, just like this. Now we'll give it a little bit of rounded corner, maybe like 6 pixels. I think 6 is okay. So let's see how design looks. I think the off-white color is not too obvious. Even Google is not too obvious, but for the sake of you that is learning how to design, let us make it a bit darker. Let's make it slightly darker. Somewhere like that. So we're going to place it here. Then we'll make a duplicate of it, right? So we're going to apply an auto layout to this first. Shift A. Then I will now make a duplicate. So it's duplicating downwards, then we change the direction. Then I place it here at the center of the page. Then I'm going to change this to I am feeling lucky. I am feeling lucky. So I think we're getting there. We're almost done. So let us increase the size here, the gap to 20. Yes, 20 is good. 20 is good. So now let us create the next text. We have Google offered in Hausa Igbo. So I'm going to get the Gmail again. I'm going to make a duplicate of this. I'm going to place it down here. So I'm going to copy this text. Google made in. I'll stop there for now. Copy and replace Gmail with that. Then this has a semicolon here or a colon. Then we have Hausa, Igbo, Ede, Yoruba, Nigerian Pidgin. So we are going to select those languages, copy. But because they have links attached to them, I want to remove those links effortlessly. So I'm going to open my notepad and I'm going to place it inside my notepad first. Then I'll copy it back. Then I'll come back here. I will replace these images with that text. Then I'm going to place this at the center of the page. So because of the blue effect, we're just going to pick the Google brand color, the blue from the blue Google brand color, then we'll turn it dark. So we'll use the darker blue, a darker blue. So um so with that being said, I think we are done with this part of the design. So let us put them all into an auto layout just like this. Select three or four of them and apply auto layout. Add auto layout. So just like that, it will give them equal spacing. Right. So now let's come to the bottom, the footer. So we are going to apply another auto layout on top of this because this is an auto layout already. We're going to place another auto layout on it. So the auto layout will not have any padding, so we're going to give it zero padding, both right and left, up and down. We're going to give it zero padding. Then we will place it at the bottom of the page, right? We align to the bottom of the page. So I'm going to double click to select the first frame that will place here before we add the auto layout and make a duplicate of it. So that we have two on top of each other. Then reduce the gap from 10 to 0, right? So notice that everything that I want to place on the footer is right aligned, not left aligned. So, and this is left aligned, so we're going to align it to the right. We're also going to align this to the right. So the first thing that we have on the footer is Nigeria, right? So let us come here, change this Gmail to Nigeria. Then every other thing here can go. So we're going to delete this, we're going to delete this, we're going to remove the strokes to make it look nicer and less weird. Then we're going to come down here and create the text. So about is the first, about. The second is advertising, advertising, and the third is business. So I'm going to duplicate advertising. Then I'll write business inside. Then I'll duplicate it again. Then I'll check the last one, how search works. So how search works. So note that we have two other things here. We have other menus on the right, privacy, terms and settings. So we are going to get rid of this first, then we're going to make a duplicate of this. But before we make the duplicate, let us get rid of these strokes. So I'm going to select all of this using holding shift down, then I'm going to remove it. So let us work on this gap between, let us change it to 20 so that we can have enough breathing space between items inside the auto layout. So we are going to duplicate this entire auto layout 2 times because we have two other contents on the page. So you can see that on this bottom, these things are equally spaced and they are taking all the space in the container, not aligning to the right or left. So that is what the same thing we want to do. We are going to change our gap from 10 to auto. So when we change it to auto, it will take over every space that you can find and give equal spacing between items. That is just the meaning of the auto. So we are going to get the privacy, terms and settings. So we're going to place it here, privacy, terms and settings, right? So I'm going to delete how it works. We don't need it anymore. So the issue here is that It's just a small issue. The way this thing is being aligned is not placing this one at the center, although this is the center of the frame based on the contents that we have here. But what we can do to make this to stay at the center of this page and align with the rest is that we have to give what we have on this side and this side equal size. So this is the longest. So we have 396 um, pixels wide box. Then we are going to come here, change this one to 396 too. Then place it on, align this on the right. Then you can see that it has pushed this to the middle. So we are going to delete 3 out of 4 here. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll be left with 1. No, we're supposed to be left with 2, not deleting 3. We're supposed to delete 2. So we'll come here, we'll get this icon just by copying it because we can't get the SVG version of this. So we'll copy and paste here. Then we'll copy again and paste to replace. Right? Paste to replace. Then the second thing here is the text here. So we are going to highlight the text. Sorry, let me go back. We are going to highlight the text. We are going to copy. Then I'll come back here. I'll open my notepad, paste it to remove the link, then copy it again. Then I'll paste it inside this place. So the gap between these two might not be 10 unlike the others. We're going to, it might not be 20. We're going to drop it back to 10 because they seem to be closer to each other here. So the only thing that we're missing is this color in the background and the line. So let us do that. Let us get the line first. So we're going to draw the line using the line tool or L, letter L. So I'm going to hold my shift and I'm going to click and drag while holding shift. Then I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy. Then I'm going to paste. I'm just going to paste by selecting this. I'll just press Ctrl V. Then you can see, you cannot see the line yet, but there's some, you can, if you pay attention to this place, you will see an anchor point. That is the line. So it's because it is the last thing inside this box, that's why you're not seeing. But we are just going to use the arrow key to move it up just by one step so that it can stay between the two frames that we have inside the auto layout. So we want this to take the full width of the auto layout. Remember, auto layout frames takes the width of any item you place inside it. So we want to do the opposite of that. We want the item placed inside it to take the width of the auto layout now. So the auto layout width must be fixed first. Then we will now expand this. So we will switch it from fixed to fill container. So this option only shows when you are dealing with an object inside another container, which is an auto layout container. Yes. So I'm going to delete this. We don't need it anymore. So this is not supposed to be black. It's supposed to be kind of like gray. So we're going to use one of the gray that I've used here. I think this one looks good enough. Let's check how it looks. I think it looks too obvious. It's not supposed to be this obvious. So let's delete this first. Then we'll come back and make it a bit lighter than what it is now. Just like that. Then yes. So we are there. So this is what we have been able to achieve. So one more thing is to get this effect. So when you hover here, this thing gains a shadow. So we are going to create that using the components. So I'm going to copy this, copy. Then I'm going to come out here. I'm going to click on the frame tool. I'm going to draw a frame. I'm not picking any screen now. I'm just drawing a frame randomly. Then I'll paste here inside the frame, right? So why I'm pasting inside the frame is because we're going to be adding shadows and our background is dark and we won't be able to see the shadows. That's why I'm putting the white frame around it. So I'm going to create a duplicate of this by using my Alt key. Then I'm going to create a shadow to this. I'm going to add a shadow to it. So I'm going to click on plus. Then I'll on this effect, I'll click here. Then I'll click the blur. I'll increase the blur of the shadow. I'll increase the blur of the shadow. Then I will increase the color opacity. I'll increase it. Then I am going to increase this, take this to 0. I'm going to take this to 0 so that the shadow will go round like this. You can see the shadow. Then we are going to get rid of the stroke here because the stroke is not useful for this. So this is not supposed to be filled with a color, but let us check what is going on here. So let's delete this. Okay, so we're going to fill this. We're going to fill this with a color. It's because we didn't fill it with a color. We only add color on the stroke. So we're going to fill it with a color, with a white color. So it will help us to see the shadow better. So you can see that our shadow is too dark. So what we're going to do is to reduce the opacity of the shadow. So something like that, 16, and let's see the increment here. Yes, just like this is good enough. So so we have the two versions because the way this thing works is that you must have two versions of this text box, the search bar. So you must have two versions of it. One version is the original state, and the second version is the state it switches to when you hover on it. So that is what we're trying to do. So this is the original state. This is what it turns to when you hover on it. So we are going to select both of them. Then we're going to create a component set, right? So I'm going to select this first one, and I'm going to switch to my prototype mode because I want to be able to join this thing and add some interaction. So I'm going to select this, pull out a wire, then I'm going to connect it to the second component. So what I wanted to do is to change instantly to this. I want this to change to this, but currently the settings is when you click. So I want it to be when you hover, so I will change it to while hovering. So what we are basically saying here is that when I hover over this, change to this, and when I leave this, go back. That's what I simply mean. So I will close this and switch back to design mode. Then I will select this, I'll copy it, then I'll come down here and double click this and paste to replace, right? So it is still the same thing. You won't really see the change, or you only see the change when we check it here. So this is still the same design, but now when I hover on it, it gives that effect. It gives this effect you get here. So that's it, guys. Um, you can try this out. I believe you can do this because it is a very simple design. So I think I will see you in the next video. And okay, I think we forgot something. There's a color that I'm supposed to add to the bottom here, so I didn't add it. So let us add it. This is the container. Let us fill it with a color. Then I'm going to change the color to this. This is too dark. Let us go lighter, lighter. Yes, I think this is good enough. Yes. So that's it, guys. I don't think this is a very difficult design to do for a beginner. And if you feel like this video is too fast, you can pause it, do follow along, design as I'm designing, watch it again. If you don't get it correctly, watch it again and again. I'm sure you get it by the time you watch it repeatedly. So if you have any question, you can drop a comment, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.